Welcome to a new update, and this update will be about a trade that I've been doing in the past 24 hours because I believe that doing analysis is super cool to do so on your YouTube channel, but I think it is more valuable for the audience to actually see how I execute my trades, because at some point we are also going to do live trading, and I'm also wanting to share my entire story on this social media platform and just share my journey on YouTube. So that's why we're going to cover a trade that I've been doing, and I've actually been sharing the analysis on Twitter earlier. And I've just started with a small account because one of the goals that I have for this year is that I want to trade more. I have not been trading too much in the past 8 months because I was trying to build a company. I was actually also very ill, as you might know. So I just want to regain my health and also regain the discipline that I used to have, and that's how I came where I was the past year. So that's what I want to reintegrate into this YouTube channel, to show you what my execution is and what my theories are next to the analysis, also when it comes to investments, also when it comes to macro. So we just want to look to build this YouTube channel. Before we continue, make sure to hit the like button and also make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you do enjoy the content. And then further, if you do enjoy the analysis, make sure to check out our free trade letter, which you can find in the description beneath. 3 times per week we are updating that. And we also have the premium platform in which we are launching copy trading relatively soon, in which you can follow my portfolio and you can also follow other traders, their portfolios, and still be able to learn and educate yourself not only on crypto but also on Forex. So now when we're looking at the actual trade, we are looking at the trade that had a stop loss prior and then second an entry did, which wasn't the best. But I'll just show you the trade. Right now we are seeing some volatility kicking in as well as the data came out. I'll be discussing that in a later update. But as you can see on the bottom here is that initially I started to trade on Ether at the 12.17. I closed this one with a loss of $500. Then the second trade I started at 12.12, not the best entry to be honest, and I closed it at 12.60, which was in this wick. And I'll just explain a little bit how I came to that close, and that granted me a profit, a P&L of $8,000 within a day, which is amazing. Now when we're looking at the price action, we are looking at a case where initially the first trade that got stopped out, which was the 12.16 one, I bought here and I had a very tight stop, which was beneath this low, as I was assuming that we most likely were going to break to the upside. However, you can see it here already, US opened and this resulted into the fall of ETH, and then I said to myself, yes, most likely we're going to get that retest going, which is one of the most obvious longs you can take. So then I started buying in, and I bought actually at 12.12, which is around this region here. I was not able to fill in the actual low, but I've been looking at 12.12 in these regions. And I've actually been getting filled, which is great. And then you get a setup like I've been sharing here on the analysis, in which I said, all right, so my theory is we've got lower highs here, we fall back in. The most obvious long you want to see hold is that we hold this previous resistance zone for support. And if we do, you can grant yourself a long towards the next resistance zone, as if we do hold here, we are making a higher low and therefore granting ourselves continuation above these highs. So if we do hold, we are taking out these highs, we are also going to take out these highs and rally all the way towards the next resistance zone, which is the block that we have here, which took us down from, maybe it was at CPI or something related to FTX, I'm not sure. It was after the FOMC. We started falling down here, so this block will probably be acting as resistance relatively soon. So then you get your theory of the entry, and feedback for myself, my entry was 12.90, 0.60 actually, which is around this area. If you have your stop placed beneath here, or actually beneath this low, but I have to place it here, your TP or your risk reward becomes 3.9. But if you adjust the entry and you are actually scooping it in on a lower level, just like the thesis stands, you will be looking at a risk reward of 7. And if you risk 2% or 1% of your portfolio goes up by 7% or 14%. So that's why the risk reward ratio 2 is a cool feature to add. It's not mandatory, but it's something that if you want to get your discipline going, it works a lot. So my theory on the trade worked with the confirmations that we were looking for a retest and a gap to fill. We filled it here. Taking out these highs results into continuation towards the high. Then I woke up and we still had it here. Then I was questioning myself whether I want to close the trade already or what TP I'll be looking at. Well, if we are granting or saying, hey, we're taking out these highs and we're most likely going to continue rallying, we probably rally towards the next most obvious area of support. And in this case, we rallied all the way towards the area that we had or constructed here in the middle of December, which if we get a first test in such a very volatile move, you don't generally break it that fast. Most likely you need more tests or more confirmations because the acceleration will just be a caution for people to start taking profits and for people to start shorting. So if we rally like we did here, we are looking at TP at that region and then we're continuing the choppy range. So in that way, it's a very easy TP to take. So I put it at 1260 it was, got filled, and now we're just consolidating. So very fast and easy trade. If you do it with a small account, it's not the point of having a large amount of money. It's the point of executing the proper trades. And this trade ended up well. The entry was actually not the best. It could have been better because then the risk reward would have been better too. But I think that the initial trade was a stop loss. The second trade executed well, so it granted me by a profit of 7.5k overall. What am I looking at when it comes to Ether at this point to finalize this YouTube update? Is that right now we've had a massive breaker to the upside, right? So we could state that after this breakdown, we are currently seeing consolidation, breakout, retest, massive move. In that regard, this entire block will most likely stay resistance for a little bit, in which we're going to have some tests in the coming period before we start breaking out to the upside or downside, who knows. So we can define crucial levels in that way. The crucial block to break on the upside is 1280, which ultimately ends up by a potential short range. The crucial area for support is the area around 1220, which makes you for swing longs to be able to get there towards the range high or possibly towards this range here. And if we get towards 1330 in the coming month and we start grinding, probably end of Q1 will be a massive one, but that's just up for debate. If we look at the lower time frames, we can state that if we are looking at the 15 minute, we are going sideways. So I can't make much out of this PA at this point, aside from the fact that I'll be looking at 1220 to 1230 to get myself filled in longs. And if we are going to have a structure in which we start going towards the high again, you have to look at the volume to actually grant yourself confirmation that we are going to break to the upside. If that's going to be the case, I won't be having a position. If it's going to show weakness, I'll be looking for a short and then I'll be looking for longs in this range. So ultimately, what I want to do with this YouTube channel is show you more about how I trade and what I do, how I execute it. That's also what we do in the platform. But I just want to show you the trades that I do. I'll be sharing my losses as well. I'll be sharing my portfolios even more. And I'll also be going into more markets. And apologies, I'll be going into live trading at some point as well. I think the essence is that there are a lot of people that are doing analysis on YouTube, but they are not executing what they are saying. So in that way, I want to add the actual layer of execution towards the platform and towards social media. So that I'm just showing that I'm a trader, an investor, macroeconomic focused person as well. And I'll be continuing to do so with my YouTube channel. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, avoid excessive risk taking, because if you take the risk with leverage trading, for instance, which I've been doing with my ETH trade as well, always assess it that your maximum risk is only 1 to 1.5% of your portfolio. In that way, you can't lose it all and you can keep on building. I'll be back tomorrow with a fresh new update and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.